Are you shopping online safely? Now, I like to support local businesses and actually go in a store and buy my items usually, but sometimes you just can't beat the convenience, selection, or price of buying something online. So whenever I buy something online, I always make sure that I take some extra steps to make sure that my personal information is protected. Now, obviously, nothing's perfect, but I figure every little bit helps. So the first thing I do is I shop from reputable sites, usually big sites that everybody knows of. I probably have a handful that I shop from on a regular basis, and really it's just kind of for a selection item, something that I can't get in their local store. And you always want to make sure when you're shopping from those addresses that they have the HTTPS in front of them and not just HTTP. When you put that little S at the end of the HTTP, just means that that company has taken steps to secure their website. So if a site does not have the HTTPS, I will not input my personal information into that site, just because it is a little bit more vulnerable to hackers and scammers. So the next thing I do is I just make sure before I buy something, I double check that the site address is correct. A lot of times scammers will set up sites that are close to the actual site that you want to go to. So say if you want to buy something from Amazon.com, but you look at the web address and it's oneamazon.com, don't buy anything from that site because it's not the correct site. They will insert different numbers that make it look like it's close to it, but it's not the actual site, and it's a way for them that they're sitting there waiting, hoping that you're going to input their personal information for them. So, and then I'm always extra alert when I'm buying something from a site that I've never purchased from before. I've actually even bought things from ads from social media sites. So whenever I do something from there, I'm extra alert on where I'm buying this from. So I will do a little research on the company before I actually make that purchase. So I look for their location address if they have one, and I will actually do a Google Street View to see if it's reasonable that that business would be located in that area. And then I'll check to see how long they've been in business for. I will look at if they have a customer service number to call, and yes, I will actually call that number before I make a purchase from them. I can tell you a lot by how somebody answers the phone, how the business answers the phone, whether it's reputable or not. So another thing I do is I read the reviews. Now I know reviews can be faked, but I try to look at how specific the review is for the item that I'm purchasing, and how recent they are. And then I'll also look at the lower rated reviews. I figure someone's probably not going to buy a 1-star review, but you never know if they're really trying to pawn themselves off as legitimate, even though they're not. So, but those are some things that I do. And another thing is companies have become very good at removing the friction from purchasing items from them. And one of the ways they do that is when you go to buy something from them, at the end they say, hey, do you want us to save your credit card information for future purchases, just to make it easier at a click of a button, that you can just buy something from us and you don't have to go through the hassle of typing in your credit card information. I always decline that. I don't want to have to worry that if their systems are hacked into, that my personal data has been compromised. So I don't store any of my personal information on their sites. So I hope you found these tips helpful to keep you safe online. If you have any tips that you'd like to share, please leave them in the comments below. We'd love to hear them. So thanks, everybody. We'll talk to you soon.